Now, hate is a strong word. That's why we have to use it. I don't mildly dislike things, I hate them. They say there's too much hate in the world. I don't think so. I don't think there's enough. We live in one of the least hateful times in human history. And without that shame, without that freedom to criticize, you see all the dysfunction you do. In a world of idiots, reptilian overlords, human traffickers, and everyone who couldn't care less as long as they have a fucking screen in front of their face, what is not to hate? You don't see true love without true hate. You don't see true light without true dark. I could say I love you and not mean it. But if I say I hate you, and I'm not joking, I mean it. You learn way more about people by understanding what they hate, not what they love. Without further ado, let's get into some hate. Mr. Snowman,
What to do, man?
who are you feeling most hateful towards right now?
Oh man, that's a pretty loaded question, man. Actually, I would first off, I'd like to, just add to what you were saying, man, because I think hate brings validation to things.
It brings a background.
What a lot of people who are trying to make a difference or an indifference, um, they are validated in their movements and what they're doing by how much hate's thrown at them.
Yeah. And if they don't have that hate economy, they have no status.
Yeah, what are they doing? Other than being another thought.
Another thought in the matrix. But I've been feeling this eerie silence as of late when it comes to news stories, when it comes to just the way people have been acting. I feel like we're in a calm before a storm.
I could see that. Uh, with what you're saying there, I've noticed that there's a lot of myself as well, and a lot of other people that there's like this. You feel that there's something building up. Like there's this energy, and it's not necessarily positive, but it's not necessarily negative either.
Yeah, it's just anxious.
It's like it's hard to describe. Like you said, it's like an anxious, unnerving.
It's like, let's get it going already. Come on.
Right. People are becoming very impatient.
Yeah. Especially with all the lies that we've been told. It's like a lie debt. It's like you can only pay off so much before it just racks up. And all the people are left like, okay, you've been lying to us for this long. Uh, when are we supposed to stop doing what you say?
Right. And the thing is, I've had a few people ask me like, if certain things were to happen, like, if Trump were to get arrested, so to speak,
Oh, yeah, on Tuesday, actually.
would you see the militias or the Patriot movement have an uprising in this country? And I say no. I don't think they would.
Nah, because they're not on board with Trump anymore.
Well, I don't even think it's so much that as I do the fact that, well, I've spoke with you, at length about my past with the militia and stuff, and I just don't think that the vast majority of people who get in the militia movement are really prepared and really about that type of life. Now, are there a lot of people in that movement that are retired and veteran military? Absolutely. Do I think that they would, if the right thing occurred, rise up? I think that.
Here's what I always wanted to know. Like, what percent of people, because let's say you form an organization, supposedly allegedly militia, what type of recruits are you getting? What kind of people are saying, "Hey, I want to join"?
I've noticed that a lot of them are when I was in it. A lot of them were people that, well, first off, they were younger cats, that were probably around your age, and they were, for the most part, they were very inexperienced with the world and inexperienced with life. And I find I've
And
come to,
radicalized.
well, see, that's the thing is I don't even necessarily know if they're radicalized, because I think the inexperience is why they are so willing to, speak a good game when they're on a platform such as social media. But when it comes time to actually, act out the things that you preach, to basically walk the talk, then there's they're real quick to take a couple steps back.
Yeah. So what percent of the recruits that you get are actually legit dudes? And also, what percent are feds?
Well, I will tell you this: I know for a fact, as far as the feds go, that every single militia, every single patriot, every single 3% group in this country has a fed, if not a couple feds in it. Every single one's infiltrated, every one of them. So to get involved with a movement like that is just, it's counterproductive. I mean, you got to remember, when it comes to these movements, we live in the modern era, and we have all done our exchanges and our discussions on public platforms like this.
And when you say these guys are involved, you don't mean like they're low-ranking members in a militia. No, they're at the heads of these things. They're operating them. They're telling them where to go, like we saw in Michigan.
Yeah, in a lot of cases, and if not at the head, they are a part of the what I would call the leadership of the militia, because there is there's the head, because they still do things by rank, just for when you're out in the field. Obviously, somebody has to be the one making the decisions, but there's also leadership. There's people that you know helped with the building and the forming and the recruiting and the training and this, that, and the third. You know what I'm saying? So generally they're part of some kind of, like you said, either the head or the leadership of it when it comes to the feds. And look, I'm here to tell you that every one of them is infiltrated. And I would say that, as far as recruits that are actually real, you probably get like maybe 4 or 5%, honestly.
Wow.
Because some of, dude, I'm here to tell you that even some of the most, what seem like the most hardcore people that have the loudest and most pronounced voices on some of these platforms that we've all seen are the first ones to fold up.
Well, yeah. I mean that also could be because they're not real.
Well, they aren't real. I found out by my own experience, that a lot of it is just, bravado, clout chasing. Uh,
No, I mean like they're not real people.
yeah, you mean like just a walking avatar?
Yeah, like they're only in conversation to rile people like this up.
That's an interesting thought. See, the most of the people that I interacted with, I actually met them physically. Because for me, I wouldn't actually have discussions in depth with someone if I only knew them online. I'd have to somehow talk to them privately. And see, that's where I go back to, why the feds are involved in this. Because we do all of our discussions, on some sort of public forum, even if it's just as minor as talking on your cell phone. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, even
Um,
that they have the rights to listen to.
but the thing is we got to remember that when the revolutionaries actually decided that they wanted to take this country and take their freedom from England, they didn't talk and communicate in a public forum, on an open forum. They did it through back alleys and through back channels and on
Yeah.
code. And I
with
mean,
anonymous names and
right.
nicknames.
You got to remember, like that they did a lot of their planning and plotting in the Green Dragon Inn.
And
You
if you'll
know,
see now, they're coming out against anonymous internet accounts. We've got to do something about all these anonymous accounts. Well, if you can't be anonymous, you can't actually release any important information.
but to the topic, with the of hate, I've noticed that it's okay for one side to have an unjustified hatred towards a group of people while it's
Oh,
villainized
oh,
for another group.
even if it's justified. Even let's say all hatred is justified.
Okay, well, I'll play that.
Even then, they're bringing a lot more to the table.
Well, it isn't that they're bringing more to the table. They're saying that their hate is the only hate that's okay.
Yeah, and trust me, I've got a video on it. We're gonna get into it, but first, we've got to get political. I want to bring up this exchange between Senator Rand Paul and Dr. Anthony Fauci, which was, I believe, it was the year of the pandemic. Could have been 2021.
Hey, check your private and your comment section too while you're playing this.
Gotcha.
Whether the pandemic started in a lab in Wuhan or evolved naturally, but we should want to know. 3 million people have died from this pandemic, and that should cause us to explore all possibilities. Instead, government authorities, self-interested in continuing gain-of-function research, say there's nothing to see here. Gain-of-function research, as you know, is juicing up naturally occurring animal viruses to infect humans. To arrive at the truth, the U.S. government should admit that the Wuhan Virology Institute was experimenting to enhance the coronavirus's ability to infect humans. Juicing up superviruses is not new. Scientists in the U.S. have long known how to mutate animal viruses to infect humans. For years, Dr. Ralph Barrick, a virologist in the U.S., has been collaborating with Dr. Shi Zhengli of the Wuhan Virology Institute, sharing his discoveries about how to create superviruses. This gain-of-function research has been funded by the NIH. The collaboration between the U.S. and the Wuhan Virology Institute continues. Doctors Barrick and Shi worked together to insert bat virus spike protein into the backbone of the deadly SARS virus, and then use this man-made supervirus to infect human airway cells. Think about that for a moment. The SARS virus had a 15% mortality. We're fighting a pandemic that has about a 1% mortality. Can you imagine if a SARS virus that's been juiced up and had viral proteins added to it, to the spike protein, if that were released accidentally? Dr. Fauci, do you still support funding of the NIH funding of the lab in Wuhan?
Senator Paul, with all due respect, you are entirely and completely incorrect that the NIH has not ever and does not now fund gain of function research in the Wuhan.
Looks like an
Institute.
Egyptian
Dr.
artifact.
Barrick,
We do not fund.
do you fund
gain.
Dr. Barrick's gain of function research?
Senator Paul,
Dr.
we
Barrett
do
does
not
do
fund.
gain of function research, and if it is,
He looks like a
according to the
prehistoric
guidelines
riverbed.
that is being conducted in
He
no
looks like a sun-bleached prune.
I'm thinking a bat virus spike protein that he got from the Wuhan Institute into the SARS virus's gain of function.
That
You
is
would be
not.
in the minority because at least 200 scientists have signed a
He
statement
looks like a bleached sphincter hole.
saying that it is gain of function.
Well, it is not. And if you look
No,
at the
he's
graph,
definitely not
and
bleached.
you
Look at the
progress
spots.
reports, it is not gain of function.
No, he is
despite the
bleached. Those
fact
are shit spots on his
that
face.
tweet that,
So
they
do
write
you still
about it.
support sending money to the Wuhan Virology Institute?
We do not send money now to Wuhan.
Bullshit.
Money. We did under your tutelage. We
Liar.
No Health. It was a sub-agency
Right.
and a sub-grant. Do you support the money from NIH that was going to the Wuhan Institute?
Let me explain to you why that was done. The SARS-CoV-1 originated in bats in China. It would have been irresponsible of us if we did not investigate the bat viruses and the serology to see who might have been
Or
infected.
perhaps it would be
in China.
irresponsible to send it to the Chinese government that we may not be able to trust with this knowledge and with this incredibly dangerous virus.
You can trust fully the bat viruses, sir.
Favor gain of function research.
I don't favor gain of
maintain
function research
that
in
the
China.
disease
You are
arose
saying things
naturally.
that are not correct.
Government defenders of gain of function.
The only reason it's not correct is because you conveniently changed the definition of gain of function.
Notice how adamant he is about this.
Well, and the only thing that didn't actually change was the published definition on the website of the agency he runs.
Right. The NIH.
Yeah.
Say COVID-19 mutations were random and not designed by man. But interestingly, the technique that Dr. Barrick developed forces mutations by serial passage through cell culture that the mutations appear to be natural. In fact, Dr. Barrick named the technique the no-see-em technique because the mutations appear naturally. Nicholas Baker of the New York Magazine said nobody would know if the virus had been fabricated in a laboratory or grown in nature. Government authorities in the U.S., including yourself, unequivocally deny that COVID-19 could have escaped a lab. But even Dr. Shi in Wuhan wasn't so sure. According to Nicholas Baker, Dr. Shi wondered, could this new virus have come from her own laboratory? She checked her records frantically and found no matches. That really took a load off my mind, she said. I had not slept for days. The director of the gain of function research in Wuhan couldn't sleep because she was terrified that it might be in her lab. Dr. Barrick, an advocate of gain of function research, admits the main problem that the Institute of Virology has is the outbreak occurred in close proximity. What are the odds? Barrick responded, could you rule out a laboratory escape? The answer in this case is probably not. Will you, in front of this group, categorically say that the COVID-19 could not have occurred through serial passage in a laboratory?
I do not have any accounting of what the Chinese may have done, and I'm fully in favor of any further investigation of what went on in China. However, I will repeat again, the NIH and NIAID categorically has not funded gain of function research to be conducted in the Wuhan Institute of Virology.
Right there. Lie.
Well, and what's interesting about that is Mr. Fauci, who categorically denies that the NIH and the NIAID did not fund gain of function research in Wuhan, China at the Virology Institute. He doesn't realize that he's actually talking. I think he forgets that Rand Paul's an actual doctor who went to medical school and understands all this shit.
Well, look at this.
Well, and you don't have to be a doctor to understand.
And be honest, is my Fauci impression on point?
Pretty good. Pretty good.
I think it needs some more. It's got enough raspiness.
Needs more nasal?
No, it needs more Italian.
Okay. More Boston to it?
Boston, when I was in Boston and Fauci, they call me Big Fauci.
That's too much Boston.
When I was murdering gay people in the 80s.
The gay people with the HIV/AIDS thing, it's a conspiracy theory.
Is this the same Dr. Redfield from Resident Evil?
It's funny you say that because the Wuhan Institute had the exact same logo as
the umbrella logo. Yeah, I noticed
the umbrella logo, and the CDC director at the time, Dr. Redfield, Robert Redfield. He was the CDC director up until 2021, and he resigned. And you're about to see a little bit of the reason why. But remember what Fauci said in the previous video.
Across the world, there were two competing hypotheses about the origin of this virus that needed to be vigorously explored. The first hypothesis is the possibility that COVID-19 infections in humans were the result of a spillover event from nature. This is a situation in which the virus naturally mutates and becomes more transmissible from one species to another, in this case from bats to humans via an intermediate species. This is what happened in previous outbreaks of SARS and MERS and earlier coronaviruses that emerged from bats and spread through an intermediate animal. The second hypothesis is the possibility that the virus evolved in a laboratory involved in gain-of-function research. This is a type of research in which scientists seek to increase the transmissibility or pathogenicity of an organism in order to better understand that organism and inform preparedness efforts and the development of countermeasures such as therapeutics and vaccines. Under this theory, COVID infected the general population after it was accidentally leaked from a lab in China. From the earliest days of the pandemic, my view was both theories about the origin needed to be aggressively and thoroughly examined. Based on my initial analysis of the data, I came to believe, and I still believe today, that it indicates that COVID-19 more likely was the result of an accidental lab leak than a result of a natural spillover event. This conclusion is based primarily on the biology of the virus itself, including the rapid high infectivity for human-to-human transmission, which would then predict rapid evolution of new variants, as well as a number of other important factors, which also include the unusual actions in and around Wuhan in the fall of 2019, all of which I'm happy to discuss today. Even given the information that surfaced in the 3 years since the COVID-19 pandemic began, some have contended that there's really no point in investigating the origin of this virus. I strongly disagree. There is a global need to know what we are dealing with in COVID virus because it affects how we approach the problem to try to prevent the next pandemic. The understanding of the origin of COVID is critical to future science research, particularly as it affects ongoing ethical debate around gain-of-function research. Gain-of-function research has long been controversial within the scientific community. In my own opinion, COVID-19 pandemic presents a case study on the potential dangers of such research. While many believe that gain-of-function research is critical to get ahead of viruses by developing vaccines, in this case, I believe it was the exact opposite, unleashing a new virus to the world without any means of stopping it and resulting in the deaths of millions of people. Because of this, it's my opinion that we should call for a moratorium on gain-of-function research until we have a broader debate and we come to a consensus at a community about the value of gain-of-function research. This debate should not be limited to the scientific community. If the decision is to continue with gain-of-function research, then it must be determined how and where to conduct that research in a safe, responsible, and effective way. I thank you for inviting me here today.
So, Fauci lied. People died.
Anybody?
What's your point?
I'm just giving some concrete evidence of that fact. Now, let's see here.
Politicians and people in the public spotlight, and let's just be honest, Fauci ain't a doctor, he's a politician. All right.
That guy ain't been in a lab other than to do a tour in 40 fucking years.
Yeah.
So, would you expect anything other than lies from him?
No.
Never.
He's the highest paid
this
government employee
is
in the
perjury.
United States. Yes.
I'm just making that clear. This is perjury.
Well, you got to remember, if he's a politician, politicians can't commit crimes while in the halls of Congress.
Well, no, technically he's a he's a public servant, so he does not have that authority to lie in Congress. But was he under oath when he made these statements?
Yeah.
He had his fingers crossed when he swore that oath.
Well, then the House needs to issue a warrant for his arrest.
That would require them to issue warrants for their own arrests.
Well, I feel like we're all about to get arrested.
Simple fact is, I mean, nothing's going to happen to this guy.
Nothing's going to happen to any of them that
Of
lie.
course not.
Exactly.
He's gonna be serving under the next president, whoever he is.
I mean, because look, at the end of the day,
He quit, didn't he?
Well, at the end of the day, the whole COVID thing, in my opinion, was nothing more than the biggest theft of our financial assets that this country's ever seen.
Yeah, and a great excuse to do so, because they realized they could exploit people's assets with the whole terroristic argument. Oh, there's this group of people that want to destroy America. Therefore, you have to give up some civil liberties in order for us to protect you. They realized that they could exploit that into a illness where now everyone's carrying it. Everyone is a potential terrorist. And we're fighting a war on terrorism. We're fighting a war on this illness. And now you all have to conform until we eradicate it. It's genius, really.
Well, I think the 2020 house arrest deal was a unexpected massive success for them, because they had people that they probably expected to push back that went along with the narrative. A lot of them.
And I mean, they wrote, they had multiple simulations in 2019 about what it would look like if a pandemic swept over the earth and they had to lock people down in their houses. And they predicted most people would go along with it. And that's exactly what happened.
But that's actually a normal part of wargaming a problem.
Right. But this was pretty specific in the fall of 2019.
Right.
Yes. Yes, but dude, they've been talking about a pandemic since the Spanish flu.
Yeah, but Fauci
and
actually
it's amazing that we haven't.
Well,
yeah,
but Fauci hold on, Mayo. Fauci actually came right out and said that Trump would see a major pandemic before the end of his term.
Yeah, another politician said the same thing, that Trump's term would see a major pandemic.
I mean, that's just too ironic for that.
I mean, you look at the white papers, you see Agenda 2030. It's right there in plain text.
You know how's that saying go? You know, about conspiracies and coincidences. How's that saying go? I forget. I know one of you two know it.
I'm not sure of any sayings, but I always say most people are actually coincidence theorists and not conspiracy theorists.
Well, what he actually said was Trump would face a surprise infectious disease outbreak.
Okay, and that's what happened.
I'm pretty sure that
every president has seen a surprise.
I'm pretty sure that I saw a footage of him stating he would see a major pandemic.
Yeah, he said pandemic. I remember that.
No, he did not, sir.
Well, there's a lot of ifs and if nots. I remember there was a book that predicted a virus of the exact same kind in the year 2020 from like 1980.
Wow, they have the whole thing on here too.
Okay, I concede. He did say that his exact words, word for word, were no doubt Trump will no doubt face an infectious disease outbreak during his presidency.
Yeah, it's because every president has faced one. Be it MERS, SARS,
Okay.
What
Swine
what's the
flu.
one? What's the one you get from the mouse shit in like New Mexico and stuff?
Mad cow.
No.
Hepatitis.
It's horribly deadly too.
I'm not sure, but that's another reason we need to lock up the borders.
Hantavirus.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Yeah, every president has seen an outbreak of a disease, a surprise outbreak, like
Yeah, but
surprise.
you have to admit,
you
and
know.
they ran simulations of a
But that's
huge.
their job.
I understand
It
that, but
is to war game this stuff. I'm
it,
not, dude. I am not defending Fauci in the least. Please understand
what
that.
he's getting at is the actual the terminology. Like look, dude, you are all about the words, all right.
Yes.
So it's the actual terms and the names that they used while actually wargaming this out. They were a little too specific, and then it turned out to be legitimately the very same things that they were talking about in the simulation for it just to be a simulation and a coincidence.
No, because it's a flu-like disease that
But
spreads
if you go by their narrative,
worldwide.
how could they why would they use that?
no, not
How
only
would
was it just a flu-like disease, it was that specific type of disease. I'm not going
right.
to say the name,
A
and
zoonotic
and
disease.
and it originated from East Asia.
They all originate from East Asia.
No, they don't. SARS
Yes, they
didn't,
do.
or Middle Eastern upper respiratory syndrome didn't.
That's like one of the few, and it also didn't spread like SARS did.
It killed a lot of
But
people.
I'll put it this way: our annual flu always comes out of Asia.
And I don't think the swine flu came from Asia, did it?
I'm not sure about that one.
The N1H1.
H1N1.
Yeah.
I believe that did.
But what I'm saying is that they were too specific about it being a coronavirus.
Well, what's a coronavirus?
And not only that, but locking people in their houses, forced inoculations in order to travel. They plotted
did
this
you see
shit.
the movie Contagion?
Yeah,
Right.
did you watch the what was it, the Amazon Prime series Dystopia or Utopia?
Yeah.
Cuz that's actually more accurate. That lays out exactly what happened, almost fucking word for word, scene for scene, account for account timeline.
So did Contagion. It was a bat pig disease that was brought to America by somebody that picked it up in a Chinese casino.
So what do you guys think happened? Do you think it was like the Chinese lab itself that leaked it, or some dumbass
I think it was
slinging some bat meat?
I think it was actually done intentionally. I don't think it was accidental.
I think the release was accidental, but I think it was purposely spread.
Yeah, because once they realized it's out, there's only one way to go with it now.
Yeah. And that's to keep everybody busy fighting it and nobody looking for the cause.
Exactly. Yeah. And like you said, Fauci's gonna face zero repercussions for this.
Yeah.
Even though we were funding it.
Oh yeah. But I also hate to say, there was a reason for this technology. And it's not warfare.
It's natural selection.
No, it's just it's trying to fight the next thing.
Why the hell would you create a disease that
I'll put it this
hold
way.
on and make a disease that's not transmissible to humans to begin with, and mutate it to be transmissible to fight something that doesn't even exist? That doesn't make sense. You're you're
No,
actually
you're
at that
making
point.
something that
No,
could
you're
exist.
legitimately.
Yeah, you're trying to outdo the evolutionary arms race that's going on.
Exactly. Yes, exactly.
But in
Like we didn't have to
trying to
weaponize bird
outdo it,
flu.
right?
We didn't have to weaponize bird flu because the birds did it.
Right. But who's to say how far along in the future the bats would have weaponized COVID?
Oh, it might have been 1 billion years. It might have been next year. We don't know.
But does that give us the right to start experimenting with it now and
No,
risk
not
releasing it?
us, not
Well,
us.
then,
These
well, yes,
doctors.
us.
No, not us, because we're
Well,
not the
when
ones
I say
doing
us, I mean humans.
Because me personally, I don't think that, no, they do not have the right to take something that is not dangerous to a human being and add, proteins of this, that, and the third to it to make it to where it is transmissible to humans and then cause shit like this to happen.
Well,
I mean,
if
what
this-
what are you really, hold on, what are you really preventing when what you're trying to prevent is literally the root cause? You caused the problem that you're now trying to prevent. That's the Hegelian dialectic at its root.
Yeah, but you're missing the point. It wasn't supposed to get out.
How do you know?
If this would have never walked out of a level 4 biolab in the United States.
Shit leaks out of these labs all the time.
I agree with him there.
Not level 4 bios.
But maybe we were funding it in this particular Wuhan lab.
We're funding it in a shitty lab where people have low standards.
For a reason.
That was our biggest mistake.
I don't think it was a mistake. Maybe we intended to do that.
Why are we playing God with this shit to begin with?
Yeah, is it playing God?
Yes.
So what if you just slightly manufacture a human weapon to be deadlier, and you want to learn how to protect yourself against that?
We do it every day.
Right. That I'm asking, where is the differentiation between that and gain of function? Because I agree. We shouldn't be doing gain of function, but where is the line?
I believe where it crosses over into humans. And actually I would say where it crosses over into livestock.
Okay, so once it can only be, a bat virus or a bird virus or a rat virus. We can't start crossing it with human or livestock genetics.
Well, we should not make it compatible with human DNA.
Or pig or cow or chicken.
Yeah.
I agree.
Animals that are food, major food sources.
And that's a good idea. And that doesn't even necessarily mean you can't do gain of function.
Yeah, and that's why I said there is a purpose for this type of research.
No, there's not.
Well, there is a purpose.
Yeah.
Whether it be to release a chemical and depopulate the earth, or to come out with we remember what Project Veritas came out with.
Yeah, but we already have that.
Right, and Project Veritas released that Pfizer was doing their own gain of function research so they could come out with the next vaccine.
Oh yeah, I know. And they should all go to prison.
And that's what I was getting at.
Down to the person that cleaned the lab that allowed them to do it.
Why aren't any of these people that are responsible for this, that were all involved? I don't care if they don't ever find out who leaked it, who let it out, whatever. Everybody that was ever involved with what is it, SARS-CoV-2, as they call it.
Oh,
anyone ever involved?
You want me to play all the dancing nurses?
They should all go to prison.
I'm sure the people responsible for this in China have already been unalived.
What about all the people from this country that's responsible?
Like we said, they'll never be held accountable.
Yeah, they're living it up.
And this
I don't agree with that. I'm just stating a fact.
This shit's getting old, though, that everyone else is held accountable, but these people can literally play with people's lives. They can
Oh,
play with their
stop
livelihoods.
Stop
They can
it.
play with
Right-wing radical extremists threatening my life once again.
no, dude. It's because what it is look, they can sit and do these kind of studies and tests and risk people's lives, and actually be responsible for people dying and other people's deaths and not be held accountable. They can
Yes,
make
Fauci.
they can make poor business decisions and cause the fucking economy to fall down and banks to crash, and they are not held accountable. But everyone else that if they do any of these same things that these people are getting away with, any of us normies, we'd be
Cattle.
sitting in a federal prison right now.
Yes.
The shit's it's got to stop, man.
Oh, I agree. I'm not arguing that. I'm just stating the fact that they will not pay for this. SVB Bank will not pay for this. SVB Bank, earlier the day they went under, paid their employees bonuses. Their CEO and CFO, weeks before, sold back millions in stock.
I heard a lot of that money is getting dished out to black market retailers, to the state of Israel, to fucking other cryptos.
No. The way it works, all right, the FDIC comes in, right?
Yeah.
They cover everybody who had an account in there.
Right, so they reimburse them.
There's 3 parts to this. There's the bank and the management of the bank, right?
Yeah.
There's the depositors in the bank, and then there's the investors in the bank stock. All right, the depositors, this is you and me and anybody else who had an account, through the FDIC, gets back $250,000 per account.
Oh yeah, that's right, 250
that they had.
Is that
That's
still
the
a law?
standard FDIC insurance. Yes.
Even if I had $200 in there?
Yeah, you'll get that. No, you'll get that up to $250,000.
Oh, up to, okay.
If you had $1 million, guess what? You just lost 3/4 of it.
Yeah.
But remember, this firm has assets, buildings, property, machinery, you name it.
Right.
Now,
Yeah,
they will be parsed up and sold off. Anything above that $250,000 for, you will get basically a letter of credit for. And the assets will be distributed evenly throughout all the holders of those letters of credit. The investors are just shit out of luck.
Interesting. So unless you hold something, you're fucked.
What do you mean? Who's fucked?
If you have an account.
If your account was over $250,000, yeah, you're fucked.
So where does that money go? To pay for the other 250s?
What do you mean? No, that money's gone.
Oh, so that's the differential they made from the beginning when the bank went under.
Yes, they made bad investments with your money.
And they should be held accountable and go to prison for it.
And I agree. And guess what? All the people in their board and their management, all their personal holdings should go to repay these people back.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because
everything they have.
Their risk management director, she spent her time organizing Gay Pride Month celebrations instead of managing investment risks.
Hold on, let me check my bank account for AIDS.
But everybody wants to blame this on Trump, right? Because he released some regulations.
Nothing to do with Trump.
I know, but do you know why all these banks have all these diversity hires?
Executive order?
No, because of fucking what's that called?
2008 bailout legislation.
Really? That's what put them in there.
Yes, that
convenient?
Forced banks to operate in a DEI environment.
Oh, so that set the precedent for like ESG and shit.
Yeah. That well, DEI, which the next version of that is ESG.
Yeah. Interesting.
But
I always
that's
thought,
what forced these banks to have a certain number of colors, um, rainbow spectrums on their boards.
and women, and then
Yep.
it turns out, oh, the the business isn't running as efficiently because it's not a meritocracy anymore.
Well, all right. I'm going to read you something, and I put it on my Facebook, and it was from one of their managers, and it was a Twitter or an IG post. Let me pull it up from her, and it was a month before
For what?
the bank went south.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I heard somebody on some websites talking about this, like, hey, shit's gonna go belly up. But they were
Okay,
saying to invest in federal coins.
there isn't any such option yet.
Or,
But
what the
Marissa
equivalent
Fan,
fiat would be.
managing director at Silicon Valley Bank, feeling inspired and energized after hosting an extraordinary group of pioneering and dynamic women at Silicon Valley Bank's female founder and VC Tahoe ski retreat. Great conversations and perspectives on building a strong company culture, GTM strategies, fundraising dynamics. What to look for in an investor, and so many more great insights. Grateful to gather with this group of superheroes and leverage our collective network to help facilitate meaningful connections and to have some fun while we're at it. This is 3 weeks before the crash.
Jesus.
Her superheroes crashed a bank.
I didn't even bother listening to anything you said.
It's just, dude, good. Because it wasn't anything of any value. You see this all the time on TikTok with people who are getting paid all day just to sit and, watch videos and attend meetings. It's like, where is this economy going? I feel like it's a big ship, like the Titanic, and we don't know it's sinking until it's actually fucking sinking. And if you're turning around a big ship, it's going to take a while.
But this is a bank, right? And look at what they're focusing on. Building a strong company culture, GTM strategies, fundraising dynamics. And what to look for in an investor. There's nothing in there about making money.
No, they're robbing the company.
Yes. They're trying to use this company's assets for social welfare programs.
Mm.
And to provide equity to
equity.
deranged people.
I can't with these motherfuckers no more.
We gotta have equity, guys. Everyone has to end up in the exact same place.
Yeah, this is their whole shtick.
I understand that.
And like Roku, right? You know what they had in deposits in this bank?
How much?
$487 million.
That's a pretty penny.
Uninsured.
Ooh.
And guess who? A couple weeks before. On February 8th. Guess who was pushing Silicon Valley Bank as a great buy? CNBC's Jim Cramer.
Wasn't he involved in FTX too?
Yes. Everything he tells you to buy, run from.
Exactly.
Because he's telling you to buy it, so at the same time you're buying it, him and his buddies can get out of it, and it doesn't show on the market.
He's at the near top in every pyramid scheme.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Oh God, this is a good one.
Right. All white
they even
people
took this story
are
down.
racist.
The head of risk assessment accused of prioritizing woke issues.
That must be an awesome job to have. All you have to do is like worry about made up woke bullshit, and everyone else is like actually laboring.
I
And
would
you're,
like.
How hard could it be?
dude, it's
It's got to be a lot easier than fucking convincing yourself that your eyebrows naturally are green.
you just make it up as you go.
I could literally take a homeless person, give them this job, and they would do a better job.
Yeah, they'd be like, who cares what color everyone is? Who's doing the job right?
It's fucking sad.
Only one member of SVB's board had banking experience.
Are you shocked?
What?
One member. And that was the 63-year-old white guy.
And he was
No.
probably a bank
Yes.
teller.
No, not the old white guy. He wouldn't be
Yes.
experienced.
That's who I want running every investment firm I am involved with.
Or
I
a
want
Japanese
that
crime
guy.
lord.
And watch and see if he isn't the one that gets the blame and it ends up being the fall guy for it all.
That's a good bet to take.
Who are you kidding, dude? He's going to retire because he can.
He's gonna end up on an island.
Doesn't matter. He's gonna be the fall guy for everything. That's why he was there. He was the patsy.
Well, he was the head to impress investors. That's why they put him there. He brought the money in.
Okay, again, more you're making more reasons and more valid points as to why he's going to be the one that takes the fall for everything.
Yeah, but it's not just the fall guy. They put a person who's known in the industry in the lead spot, but they really don't run anything.
So you think he's gonna get out of it?
Yes.
No.
Okay.
Nothing's going to happen to these people.
He's going to be the next Bernie Madoff.
I don't think anybody's gonna end up paying.
No, nobody's going to jail over this, guys.
Yeah.
What
Just like
laws were broke?
I mean, is the
Making
FTX
bad
guy
investments isn't
for
against
sure
the
going?
law. Oh, after the trial, most likely.
Forcing
'Cause that's a different animal.
Forcing taxpayers to bail these fuckers out for their bad investments should be against the law.
It is.
All they're covered for is the same thing you are, $250,000.
Damn, I need to get some of that.
You're missing the point. You're missing the fucking point. All this is
Who is
2000,
getting bailed out?
This
Who
is
is getting
2008 all over again.
But who is? No, they're not bailing out the investors this time.
Watch and see.
Yeah, they're bailing out the banks.
No, they're not. They're selling the bank off to give it back to the people that the bank owes, which is
Oh, that's like communist and capitalist.
I will bet. Yeah, I'm gonna tell you what. I will bet you $100 right now that we'll never hear anything about that bank being sold.
Well, the assets are already being sold.
Yes, yeah, and that's the bank. The bank is its asset at
That
this
bank
point.
will be
It's
up
no
and-
longer a bank.
That bank will be up and running by the end of this year.
No, it'll just be fucking dissolved into a million other.
Dude, I'm telling you.
All right. Well,
No, dude.
put some money in its stock then.
Look at Washington Mutual. They don't exist.
What happened to charter banks?
I don't even know what charter banks are.
That's how archaic they are. I remember this bank called Charter Bank. Never seen it again in my life.
Oh, they probably sold off to somebody else.
I think they they sold to Chase or something.
Yeah, probably. That's what most banks do. Big bank, little bank.
Big bank, tank, little bank. Yeah.
That's big bank. Yeah,
it's a universal
it's a rap
construct.
lyric. Yeah, it's a rap lyric for Christ's sake.
Yeah, and it's
Big
true.
bank, little bank.
It's true on like the biggest scale you could think of. True.
Oh, it's true on the levels of Ford and Chevy.
Yeah.
As true as it is on the plains of the savannah in
Yeah,
Africa for
yeah.
animals.
Or the medieval times in Europe, big sword, take little
Yeah.
sword.
We're not playing swords.
All right, let's get into some racism.
Love
Oh
that.
no, not the
Favorite-
racism.
That's my favorite topic.
Um, so I guess all white people are racist,
Well,
Of
I already
course.
knew that.
and
Let
we're
me
about to.
introduce let me introduce you to RBR, dude.
What's that?
That is Real Brother Radio.
Oh, I thought it was R&B plus rock.
No, RBR is a person. He's a YouTuber.
That's lame.
He is the most racist black man on YouTube.
I'd love to have a conversation with him.
I can get you a link to some of his recent cringy ass comment or topics.
No, but this girl, she kind of looks like Ice Spice. If you guys know who that is, you probably don't because you're both boomer. I think one of you is a boomer and one of you is Gen X.
Is that a
Yeah,
Spice Girl?
I'm Gen X.
So there's a girl Ice Spice with red hair, but she doesn't quite look like her.
Is
She
that a
looks
Spice
like
Girl?
no.
Oh, this is just some ratchet non-binary right here.
Yeah, this is dry Ice Spice. Let's hear why all white people are racist. Let's hear her out for real.
White people are racist. Every single last one of them, all of them are racist. But since all these white people are here, let's talk about some white people things.
Okay, I just fucking hate when people, I don't care who they are, when they talk through their teeth like that, when they smile, like, and we're just going to talk about some things, and I know it's going to piss you off.
That whole condescending thing.
That's what Karens do.
No, most Karens actually serve a purpose.
These people serve a purpose: feed worms.
Every single last one of them, all of them are racist. And I don't mean that to say like every single individual white person, if I talk to you, you would have some kind of racist ideology. I'm saying that as a white person, you uphold a system of racism by literally just being white. I believe if you're not spending your literal entire life dismantling racism, then you're contributing to its continuation. And people get so like, whenever like I say like people are racist, like why is it such a big fucking deal? Like, yes, you're racist. Like, okay, we've established that. Now what are you gonna do to change it? Racism refers to power and race. If you are the powerful race in a society, then you're fucking racist. Like, I just don't understand.
Okay, so if I go to China and Chinese people are the powerful race, it is impossible for me to be racist to Chinese people because I don't have any power.
Of course, according to her, yes, that's the way it works.
I can go to Uganda and start dropping the N-bomb, and since black people are in power there, I can't be racist because I don't have any power.
No, you can do that right here on YouTube because white people don't have no power on here because black people have all of it on YouTube.
I don't think. I think Uganda is a bit better than YouTube.
No, why? We don't need to go that far. We have Baltimore and Atlanta and Memphis.
Yeah, with higher murder rates than Uganda.
We have Wakanda in America,
Wakanda,
and that's Atlanta.
I mean, yeah, I guess.
I mean, a
guess
black
so.
guy said it, so it must be true, right?
Well, I don't know what this person identifies as.
Well,
She's not binary.
They identify as oppressed and victimized. I'll tell you that much.
I mean, yeah, look at that hair. It looks.
I mean, and to
victimized
be
me.
quite honest with you, she doesn't even look black anyhow. So what the fuck is she talking about? Racist?
Yeah, she looks about half black, so she's
Yeah,
half
well,
white.
the thing is according to her own people, then she's not a black person.
Yeah, but everything's according to the white man, right? I've had conversations with this before. Like, it's not just skin color, right? Just because you're a lighter pigment or a darker pigment, that doesn't necessarily place you into a category of race.
Well, it's
like,
funny though because they say that until they utilize their own white half to get whatever it is they want.
yeah, and to girls like this, she seems like a nice girl. I would just say you need some more black friends.
She seems like she's got a smelly pussy, and her fucking breath probably smells like deep
No,
fried fucking. Probably smells like deep fried fucking crotch crickets and fucking.
crotch crickets. I think she has too many white friends.
No, she smells like patchouli oil.
She definitely smells like cocoa butter.
No, she smells like fucking. Never mind.
Oh no, she's got that. She's got like the whole hippie dress. It looks like she's wearing a dream catcher.
That's why I'm telling you, dude. She smells like patchouli oil and
Yeah.
dirty underarms because she doesn't wear fucking
She's
deodorant.
wearing the "I have a dream" speech.
All right, let's continue where she left off.
Understand why it's so taboo. Let's talk about it. Let's accept it so that we can work towards changing it. We're never going to get anywhere if people won't just fucking acknowledge it in the first place. I'm talking about Teresa. I wasn't even going to talk about her in the first place, but since all these white people are here, let's talk about some white people things.
This bitch is whiter than most white people.
Right.
There we go again with the fucking talking through the teeth. I can't stand it. I don't know what it is about it. I just, it infuriates me.
Because
nothing about that is right.
It's how you talk when you try to force a smile.
They seem condescending when they're doing it.
Yes.
Ugh, it's so condescending.
Not to mention her fucking hair looks like a fucking dingleberry hanging off of someone's ass.
It looks like you guys remember what was that Applejack cereal? Remember the cinnamon guy? That's what that reminds me
She's
of.
looking rough and tough with her afro puff.
Hey, I respect it. I mean, I don't think it's necessarily that natural because it's dyed, but it's better than.
I think it's a wig.
I mean, it's better than horsehair.
At least her edges aren't so pronounced.
Race and you have ism. Ism means a distinctive practice, system, or philosophy, typically a political ideology or an artistic movement. Ism is a system or ideology, and when you pair that with race, you have this whole system that oppresses people. The thing that separates racism from discrimination is the ism. It's the fact that race is being used to systemically oppress people. Racism is
what feminism is doing?
No race besides white people have the power to oppress another group. My professor explained it to me as a black person can stand on the street and yell every single obscenity about a white person they can think of, but it will still not affect any kind of systemic or systematic change at all.
No, because we don't care what you say.
Right. That's the only reason why it won't, because we don't give a shit.
But here's the thing. Black racism does have an impact. If we were to look at interracial homicides or interracial grapes, there is an impact. Okay, if we were to look at certain cases where people are just gunned down on the fact that they were white, it does have an impact.
Oh yes, it does. It does. I mean, it's a 10% difference between the two races.
No, you're wrong, man.
90% of black people are killed by other black people. 80% of white people are killed by other white people.
You guys are both wrong because white people are the most violent people on the planet. Don't forget it.
We are actually. We've perfected it.
We got fucking ninja swords that come out of drone missiles.
We've defined violence where we don't even have to do it. Our state does it for us.
Yeah. It's Starship Troopers. Violence is the measure from which all authority derives. And we live in the privilege of that authority.
Yes.
It's beautiful and horrifying at the same time.
But have you ever read the book
of Starship Troopers? No.
Yes. Read the book. It's a lot less
dramatic
end people as it appears. It actually makes a very good argument
for citizenship.
For that form of governance. Yes, and for citizenship rights.
It makes sense.
And it's where we need to head to actually progress.
Well, yeah, if we're gonna be fighting people on Mars, yeah, I'd hope so.
However, white people do have the power to influence such oppression. White people are the dominant influence in American society. Really, though, white supremacism is a dominant influence in all societies.
Why is that? Because you guys keep aborting your babies left and right.
But minorities do not. Also, saying that I could be racist the same way a white person could be racist completely invalidates the racism experienced. When white
Well,
people
that's a fucking
experience,
straw man argument.
racism, it's like they're being called a Karen or they're being called.
It's bullshit, and we all know it. Because what she is doing, espousing all these things to all white people, is actual racism.
So you got the Joe Rogan experience, you got the DMT and ayahuasca experience, and then you got the racism experience. And I guess black people own the copyrights to this experience, and no other group of people can experience it but them.
Yes.
It makes zero sense. What about
Yeah.
Indians? You think they were never discriminated against? Asian people?
No,
the white slaves on the Barbary Coast.
Yeah.
That slavery was different than chattel slavery. Those are two different things.
Yeah, the ones in chattel slavery lived.
Got to live.
Right. The ones that went to the North African coast never came back.
Yeah, and had their privates cut off.
Apparently, we're so racist, according to the chat. Whoever Goddard Damerung is.
I love it.
Ain't that name fucking awesome though? Goddard Damerung.
It's German, and this is what I was going into earlier about how Germans are just cucked. They're just guilty white guys now. Like, we don't have to worry about Germany for 1,000 years.
we killed every masculine male in Germany and removed them from the gene pool.
And the smart ones with the high IQs, we brought them here.
Yeah.
Totally obliterated.
You guys started racism and we perfected it.
I wouldn't say that. I don't think it's been perfected yet. This woman is an example.
In the words of the Beastie Boys, we stole your women like we stole your bike.
We stole your women like we stole your bike. That's pretty good. I didn't even think about that one.
He said Germany.
Master race.
Well, I mean, man, you could messed up, man, because his experiment took over the world.
Well, look, at one point you may have had an argument there. At this point in time, there's nothing master about your guys' matriarchy that's destroying Germany right now.
Angela Merkel.
Oh, yeah. Angela Merkel.
If you guys were the master race, you wouldn't let some woman destroy your country.
Oh, nah.
And you wouldn't kneel at the feet of the EU.
Yeah, the EU is...
You can't even decide your own tax rate. That's dictated to you.
The EU has more control over the German people than the Third Reich did.
The EU is the Fourth Reich.
It is. Look who Merkel was. She was an East German. She was not a West German.
And look at her elections. The elections that she won. I know we're not allowed to talk about elections here, but a little fishy.
Yeah. Can you say Stasi?
9.
The only thing worth a fuck that's come out of Germany in the last 20 years is fucking Rammstein.
Yes. And they are the master race. What language is he typing in the chat?
English. Imagine that.
Yeah, but a lot of English does come from German.
Very little. Very little. Train station, Bahnhof. Nope, not that one.
No, see, you're wrong. The Slipknot lyrics are people equal shit. Not America equal shit. People equal shit.
Yeah, and there's this long-going stereotype that America, fuck America, man. Don't want to be an American idiot. It was all like a punk, post-grunge whole movement. But all these people parodying this are privileged as fuck.
And buy a fake punk.
Yeah, it's not even real punk. Like real punk artists would be like, dude, this guy's a fucking poser.
Yeah. I mean, if it was the dead Kennedys, I'd give it some credit. Their album cover was literally Dead VC being pulled behind a 113 in Vietnam. Was one of their album covers.
What happened to album covers like that? You don't really see anything edgy like that. It's always some weird, abstract AI, computer generated art.
There's no albums anymore.
Yeah, a lot of them.
There's not even really a CD trade anymore. Sadly,
dude, they're not even competing for top 100 on the charts anymore. They're just trying to get those 45 seconds to play on TikTok.
All that and sales online. I mean, if you're still buying Apple Music, you're a fucking idiot.
You're a fucking retard, dude. I
can download the MP3s from YouTube
in my life
all day long for free.
Dude, I did that on my fucking PlayStation 3.
All you need is Spotify. Spotify gives you anything and everything you want.
Shout out Spotify.
I mean,
go back to your farm, little man. I love it.
Why don't you go back to your concentration camp?
Uber
mentioned. Bitte. Wo ist der Bahnhof?
I love it.
You spent years in school learning English. The Army put me through a week of German class.
Don't you guys have a genocide to cover up?
A couple of them, actually.
Called a cracker or something. When black people experience racism,
and an Austrian
being thrown in jail unnecessarily.
Was the best
being
German.
Shot in the streets
That's
for
sad.
literally doing nothing. It's having your neighborhood gentrified. It's having your district redlined. It's having your health needs be dismissed. It's having you be perceived.
Wait a minute.
As
say that again. Hold on.
Not. So to tell me that you as a white person experience racism the same way, but
having your neighborhood gentrified and having it redlined. If you gentrify a neighborhood, it gets de-redlined.
I'll give them gentrification, but redlined is not an excuse because there were, I mean, most of the people that were redlined were not
white people.
Yeah, well, they weren't.
They were poor whites, and
Jews
Asians
were redlined, and Jews, and Asians, and those same communities, like the East Asians and the Chinese, make more on average than white people. So you can't use redlining as an excuse.
Hey, you better hope that Ukraine gets that shit under control before you guys end up being Putin's bitch.
End up being? What are you talking about?
Oh, wait, yeah, I guess.
Yeah, they already fucking are.
You guys already are getting cucked by the little man over there.
They're gas whores, man.
Little man. Did we not just go over the dictators in history?
They're fuel whores. That's all Germany is.
Yeah, I'm a
because of Merkel, Angela Merkel.
she's shady, man. I know she's very, very connected with the higher ups.
Germany had 6 nuclear power plants planned.
And
well, you know what's funny is even in Biden's fucking his delusion, he's still got more balls than that bitch you got running your country.
No, I think Angela Merkel has more balls than Joe Biden.
No, she doesn't.
Yeah, she does. Yeah. I think so.
The mayor of Chicago has a bigger dick than Biden.
She literally, if she had more balls, she wouldn't have let Trump fucking manhandle her the way she did.
I mean, would you?
Trump manhandled everybody he met.
Yeah.
But Trump knows. And he learned that in business.
Business. I had to slit a few throats in my time.
Lady like me. When's the last time you saw a pussy?
Last time he had pussy, it had him.
Literally.
I bet you're the fucking. You're the fucking example of what happens after a botched abortion.
No, he's the results of the people that kind of let up on the Ramstein concerts.
He's the poster child for eugenics.
That's a compliment. He keeps talking. I love it, man. I really do.
Why are you giving your country to Muslims, sir?
Oh,
Am I wrong?
No, you're not wrong. Germany has had a big problem with Islamic terror attacks.
because they like being cucked by other men who wear towels on their heads.
It's better than men who wear skirts, right?
I guess.
Come on. They don't call it German Shiza porn for nothing.
Yeah, well, to be fair, we've made fun of Germany for a long time about all their fucked up sexual videos. But that type of shit is in America now, and it's mainstream. Like the type of shit we used to make fun of Germany and Japan for, we do here.
Hey, all I know
Well,
is
yes, but we weren't the originators of it. It's
I
found
think
that the internet has allowed that group of people to realize others exist.
hey, dude, I'm gonna tell you this: every community in America that I've ever seen that had inbreeding going on, they could trace their roots straight back to Germany.
well, not all of them. A lot of them came from England.
Every fucking one of them.
Well,
What
we're
about
not
the
talking about
British royalty?
we're not talking about the Dutch and Duchess or the Duke and Duchess. But yeah, German communities, a lot of
Yeah,
them historically had
yeah.
large inbreeding.
And that's a problem. No matter who it comes from, whether it's from Pakistanis or European royalty, it's a problem. Or Alabama, it's a problem.
Do you know where new face plastic surgeons go to practice?
Alabama.
No, they go to the Middle East to fix all the cleft palates from
Yeah.
all the cousin fucking.
Yeah, Mohammed married his first cousin. So that's kind of like the norm in certain
Yeah,
countries.
what was she, 9?
Yeah, when he consummated. But no, that's just religious freedom, my dude.
Well, but it's funny you say that because in Michigan, a Muslim guy can count all his wives as family members for his food stamps and welfare.
What?
Really?
Yeah.
Holy crap! I'm gonna start hitting some girls up right now. I'm getting a harem.
He said a Muslim. You got to be Muslim.
I'm converting right now. I already converted just now.
Nah, dude.
Praise Allah.
Dude,
Peace be with Muhammad.
Dude, even your very existence goes against.
What are you talking about? There's plenty of white Muslims, and they got little scrawny beards.
But the thing
Dude,
is, if he walked in there,
there might be
he walked
white
in there-
Muslims, but there's not transparent Muslims.
There's
Yeah, but-
ginger Muslims.
No,
In fact, they dye their beards orange.
yes, correct.
I already have an orange beard.
No, you don't.
I'm in the club, dude.
Mhm.
Don't be mad because you're not getting the
And
72
if you walked in there with like 3 wives and 4 babies, they wouldn't even question it.
Of course not. But in Michigan, they really get to claim all those as dependents.
Yes.
Oh my God! And they don't even have to be.
But
Do they
they're
have to
putting
be-
Mormons in jail in Utah for the same thing.
Yeah, that's fucked up. But do they have to be legally married?
No,
Oh my
They
God! I'm getting a
They-
harem.
they can't be legally married.
Right, because you can't have polyamory,
No, you can't have
polygamy, whatever it's called.
polygamy.
No.
Whatever.
Polyamory is two totally different things.
Not really. It's
Yeah,
still poly love.
Yeah, but you're allowed to have sex with 2 or 3 different people. You're not allowed to be married to 2 or 3 different people.
Well,
What's the fucking difference?
The marriage.
It's not much if you're fucking other people.
the legal contract.
Right.
It's the legal
But
contract.
even California took care of that with palimony.
Palimony? What is that?
Yes. If you've been dating your girlfriend so long, she is.
Your common law wife.
Yes.
Most states have done away with that, though.
My common law wife. So what? Do we get taxed the same?
No, what it is like back when I was a kid in Ohio, if you were with the same person for like 7 years or longer, then if you guys ever separated, you were considered common law, and you actually had to go through the same process of divorce as somebody that was married.
No.
Interesting.
Because
And financial support.
that.
the reason why they say that is because throughout, that's enough time to where you guys actually were able to acquire and build things together.
Yeah. To where you become treated as one entity under the law.
And most guys, instead of being like I would and take a chainsaw to everything you guys own and cut it in half and say, here's your half. That's how you fix that problem. If I get nothing, you get nothing.
Just watch the world burn.
Kansas still allows it.
Well, I gotta go to fucking Kansas then. Sounds like a
Oh,
great
hell no,
place.
dude.
What's wrong with Kansas?
That's the reason, after I got back from working overseas, I forced my girlfriend, who was living in my home while I was overseas, to buy her own home.
So also, I did look into that. You know how that guy that had the cock on his face that came on my stream yesterday?
Yeah.
You know how he said that he finds random live streams? He just goes into YouTube and searches StreamYard.
Yeah.
If you go in there and search StreamYard and then hit the filters button and choose live, you do find random live streams.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, if you go for like the past hour and shit.
Oh, yeah. If you do it on a computer, I go to my home page, and up top it has all live gaming, podcasts, debates, sovereign citizens movement, law enforcement, drones, music,
Oh, sovereign
aircraft.
citizen. Guys, I had a conversation with my uncle who is locked up right now. He just got locked up, actually. He made a pretty famous video on the news here in Michigan. He drove him through a high-speed chase, went through the stop sticks, evaded a couple pit maneuvers, but they eventually got him.
Tommy
And,
Sotomayor is live right now, and Little Podcast is on his panel.
Hey, go porn bomb him.
Oh, my God.
I actually like Tommy.
But anyway, he was telling
Tommy's
me
going to eat him alive.
he was telling me about how they have these libraries close to the prisons or to where prisoners can access, and they contain
Holy shit, Jay Prince is up there too.
They contain legal documents about U.S. law and whatnot, and what actually applies to these so-called sovereign citizens. Because a lot of them are fucking idiots; they don't know what they're talking about.
Holy shit, there's a white dude on Fight Club.
Oh, yeah, and he's kicking ass, too.
But these documents somehow pertain to sovereign citizens gaining rights over the U.S. government. And
Sovereign citizens do not exist, sir.
I understand that.
Yeah.
Sovereigns,
He's
it's a
a
legal
believer.
process. You can become a sovereign, and it's not like you get a bunch of money or anything, but it's just a
No,
legal declaration.
It actually is bullshit. It's all bullshit.
Well, it's happened.
No, it has not, sir. That's why your uncle is in jail.
Well, he didn't. It's not. I'm not saying he pulled this shit. He was just talking about these legal documents that people get a hold of, and then what ends up happening is when they see the parole board some circumstance will happen where they get their asses kicked by a bunch of COs, or the files somehow disappear. And if you get caught with these legal documents, you get sent to the hole.
No, sir. This is you're talking about prison logic. The best
No, it's
lawyers
not.
you'll ever find in the world are prisoners,
that may be true, but
and it's all bullshit, dude. There is no magical set of documents. You can do it though.
no, I'm not.
And it's
I'm not saying it's a
it's by
magical set of
giving up
documents.
your citizenship.
That's what I'm saying. You relinquish your citizenship
Yes,
in
and
exchange to
then
be legally a sovereign,
no, that's not how
and
it
then
works.
you're
You're
treated
just no
with.
longer a citizen. No, you're just no longer a citizen.
But then you get treated with international law, right?
After they ship you out of the country,
Well, what if you're in the country?
Hey,
then they'll
fellas.
kick you out. If you're not a citizen and you don't have a visa,
Hey, fellas, I'm gonna have to hop off here. I got to get some sleep. It's fucking almost 5 o'clock in the morning.
Go for
all right,
it,
brother.
Snowman.
All right, I'll talk to y'all later. But good stream so far, man. I'll make sure I share it on my Facebook and shit for you.
Hell yeah. Peace.
Peace. Hey, and fuck off, Germany.
I like Germany. I think they got a chance. Somewhere deep inside those fucking rolling hills of Germany, they got a chance. But, so what actually is the process? Because I've heard this explained to me from a couple people. You become a sovereign. My understanding is you give up your U.S. citizenship, right?
Yes.
Then what happens to you? Let's say if you're in the
Then they
institution.
eject you out of the country.
Where?
Anywhere you would like.
And they just leave you?
You're here illegally.
Oh. Well, so if you're a U.S. citizen and you commit a crime, can you do that?
Yes, after you're done serving your
Right.
crime, you can
Right.
give up your citizenship. But it doesn't get you anything. It gets you
What?
kicked out of the country, and you will never be able to return once you have given up your citizenship.
Of course.
Yeah.
But what if you've given up your citizenship and you're here for whatever the reason?
They will force you out of the country to a country that will accept you.
Well, what if you got a visa just in case, and you commit a crime?
And you would have gotten that visa under false pretenses.
How?
Because you would have to get the visa beforehand, not as a U.S. citizen. U.S. citizens can't get visas for the United States.
Oh, so you have to you have to give up your U.S. citizenship in order to get a visa.
Yes.
Okay,
Only
so,
foreign people need visas.
right. So let's say they get a visa, they give up their U.S. or no, they give up their U.S. citizenship, then get a visa. They're still in America, and they commit a crime.
They can't get a visa while they're in America, sir.
Why not?
Number one, they don't have a passport anymore.
But if they're already here and they give up
Doesn't
their
matter.
U.S.
They're not a
citizenship,
citizen. They're not a foreign citizen either.
okay, what if they're in a sanctuary city?
The feds don't care about sanctuary cities.
Right. So what if he applies for the visa there? That's where I would do it.
You have to apply for a visa at a U.S. consulate, which is federal government property, no matter where it is, even overseas.
Do those exist in sanctuary cities?
No.
So just go
And
outside
even
the
then,
border?
they're still federal government property.
What does that mean?
That means the land and the building it sits on is controlled by federal authorities. That's why federal courthouses have their own federal police force.
So are you saying that's the government property, or that's
Yes, that property belongs to the United States of America, to the federal government. It is not the U.S. If a U.S. consulate was in Chicago, it would not be under the control of Chicago.
Of course, yeah, right. But my original point was that if you are a sovereign and you're convicted of crime in the United States, How do they
Go to
treat
prison
you?
like everybody else.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah. If you commit a crime and you're from any country, unless you're in the military
Right.
and we have a status of forces agreement with you, you're going to jail.
Unless you're unless you got some some Antifa lawyers written on your arm. In that case, you're getting out the next
Oh,
day.
that's not doing those guys in Atlanta much good.
Yeah, those
They ain't
guys
getting
in
out on
Atlanta,
bail. They
good.
ain't getting out on bail.
Well, because Georgia. But I think that whole thing was a psyop because it's like it's not like the cops acquired this land out of the blue. This has been a cop training facility for decades. They were just remodeling it.
Well, no, they're not remodeling it. They're greatly expanding it.
Right.
And what the property was is a former school, a closed down school that the police used for training.
Yeah. And it
It
hasn't been
wasn't like
used
a
in a
formal
while.
facility. Yeah. Yeah, it hasn't been used as a formal facility since I think the early 80s.
So it's not serving any purpose. It's just a hunk of fucking abandoned building. And now
Yes.
cops are deciding to turn
Well,
it.
no, the SWAT team would train out there from time to time,
Yeah.
but it belongs to the city of Atlanta
But
because it was.
now it's a cop resort and it's where all the pigs.
Well, no, it's not a cop resort yet. They're building the training facility. They're just starting to build the training facility out there.
Yeah. They had to clear land for that. That's why all
Yeah,
the environmental protesters came out.
yeah, because God forbid you kill a tree, to or an owl to save 10,000 fucking jobs in Washington State.
Or the next mass shooter in Atlanta, Georgia. We still got to finish this enlightened young woman, and what she has to say.
Rainbow Head.
Tell me that you as a white person experience racism the same way black people do. That's just absurd and obtuse. Because no, you don't. And of course, other POC experience racism too. I'm talking for black people because I'm a black person. And at the day, always remember black people are not a monolith. You will probably meet another black person who thinks I'm completely insane. But anyway, lots of racist white people here now, so I thought maybe I'll piss you off. Have fun being racist, and reverse racism does not exist.
There goes the fucking.
No, but reverse racism doesn't exist. Just racism exists.
And look at this.
My friend, you are just adorable.
Hey man, you got a cool thing? I like that cool thing. Let's play with it.
You see the white kid steal that shit from the black kid? Look at him chasing. He's gonna beat him just like he's training to be a cop.
Right.
Yes, racism is learned and not inherited, correct, and it is taught in black households.
Yeah, I mean, anyone who has that conversation about race with their kids at such a young age, to me, it's child abuse. It really is. Because I remember I had a family friend of mine who came to me and told me, hey, she was in like first or second grade, and she's like, hey, some of my friends have black skin and some of my friends had white skin. And I thought to myself, wow, her parents did a really good job.
Well,
because she didn't have anything to say about either of those people. She just said, some of my friends are lighter and some of them are darker. That's it. That's how you're supposed to raise a child.
Well, I never thought of myself as a white American before BLM.
Yeah.
Most Americans didn't think of themselves as a color before American before BLM, which is exactly why it was done.
So it's to separate us and to get us into that.
That's Marxist ideology. That's the Marxist playbook, man. Oppressor
always.
and oppressed.
Oppressed class and oppressor class. But instead of proletariat, it's white supremacy.
Yeah, they use race because you can move statuses in America, which is something you could not do in most countries at the time.
Yeah, so they can't make it about proletariat and the working class and the elites and the
No, not when you
bourgeoisie.
can change classes.
So they got to go with race.
Yeah.
Interesting.
If Marx would have made his theory in America, he would have included it.
Oh, definitely. And you know, Marxists have included it in contemporary Marxist theory. In fact,
Oh,
they talk about race and sex all the time. It's like it's pretty important to them. But
oh,
Marx
that
himself
and black
wasn't.
and white in China is the Han Chinese versus everybody else.
Yeah, because the Han Chinese is like the Aryan race, and everyone else is like inferior.
Yeah.
But see,
And
I don't think the Han Chinese exist anymore. I think they've been outbred.
pretty much.
And you know, if it was the case that the Han Chinese, that ethnic Chinese group, was to go extinct, I would be sad about it. I don't think anybody deserves to go extinct. But you have people who will celebrate the fact that white people are going extinct. I wouldn't be happy about any group going extinct. And if you were to even suggest that you would celebrate that, dude, that's a hate crime.
Show me the minority run country that has our social welfare programs.
Do you consider Swedish people a minority?
No, I don't.
Neither
Show,
do I.
outside of Western culture, show me a country that has these programs.
Nowhere.
Exactly.
Some third world countries have universal health care, but it's nowhere near the quality.
Well, but guess what? You're not going to get cancer treatment through it.
Probably not. No.
You know, nobody in those countries is getting chemotherapy. They're dying of cancer.
Yeah. Well, at least they don't have as many plastics as we do.
Yeah, but and look at Canada. Where do rich people in Canada come for health care? To America.
Yeah, when they need like emergency procedures, or
Yeah.
when they need like top end procedures. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. When they can't wait 3 years for cancer treatment.
Yeah. I mean,
Same thing with British.
And they try to make the whole same argument about U.S. patients going to Canada for healthcare, but those were for minor treatments that they couldn't afford.
No, those were specifically for prescription drugs that were cheaper there.
Right.
Same. They go to Mexico. Well, you know why? Because people in Mexico can't afford the prices that U.S. people. I mean, look at the base salary in Mexico. Those drug companies wouldn't sell any drugs in third world nations if they charged the same price.
Yeah.
We're actually subsidizing those drugs for those other nations.
Why?
We're not purposely doing it, but that's how the drug companies make their money back. Why does an aspirin? You know why an aspirin costs you $100 in a hospital, right?
No. Well, because let me guess.
Because the 100 people that walked in before you didn't pay.
Oh.
That's why.
And they have medical bills that rack up that they're never going to see.
Yes. But they'll never recover.
Like me. I'm never paying that fucking shit. Wow. So we do have universal health care. We just it's just better.
Well, no, we have universal health care for the poor.
Well, for everybody. The hospital
No.
can't turn you down.
Oh, exactly. But you can't force like a hospital to give you cancer treatment.
Right, right.
You have life, limb, and sight care for free.
Life, limb, and sight.
Yes.
Okay.
That's pretty much emergency care.
Yeah.
Like if you blow out your back, You'll go in, they'll ice it down, they'll give you an MRI, they'll give you a couple days of pain meds, and send you
Yeah.
on their way.
Yeah.
They don't have to take you into treatment and do
Right.
surgery on you.
Whereas if you have like a heart attack or a stroke,
Yeah.
that's life.
Yeah, that's life.
So
but even like limb. Like say you go in there, you got diabetes, and your leg blows up like a balloon. They will have to treat that.
Yeah, that's scary.
To the point you're not going to lose a limb, and then they're going to turn you loose.
I mean, it makes sense. Why would you treat somebody beyond, a life saving, especially if they're not paying for it?
Exactly.
they're
And
doing
they
the
know
best
they're
they
not
can.
going to get paid for it. Yeah.
Right. It's like if I live in the middle of fucking bumfuck Egypt and there's only one doctor for thousands of miles, is the government supposed to force that guy to fucking operate on me until I'm satisfied?
Well, you don't even have to give them an ID to get treated.
Right. You just walk in.
Yeah.
Osama bin Laden got treated at a U.S. hospital, I believe.
You just walk in, and if it's a life, limb, or sight issue, they'll ask you for an ID, but it's not like they're going to stop treatment if you don't give them one. How many
Right.
people get hauled away in an ambulance with their wallet or purse?
Right.
It doesn't happen.
Right. They just get your name and date of birth afterwards and bill you.
They get the name that you gave them and the social security number that you make up.
Really?
Yeah.
Listen, next time I get hurt,
you don't have to show them an ID.
My name is Kurt Finkelstein. My social security is 248
Barack Obama's social security number.
10 12 14 16.
They're not going to turn down treatment.
They can't. But you
haven't broken any laws in doing so.
How do I make my non-life-threatening health issues into life-threatening issues so they fix them? That's the question. And then I'll never have to pay any medical bills. Have you seen these AI videos, these deepfake voices?
Oh, yeah, dude. I'm telling you, man, in 2 years, unless you see it with your own eyes in front of you, you're not going to be able to believe it.
Well, Joe Biden had some words about this the other day, as a matter of fact. Let me pull it up here.
Oh, God.
Trap star, 666 pussy nigga. Rated R for retard the way I get in dumb money. Band so stupid a stack will drop a nigga IQ by 7 points. Real Neanderthal money, nigga. Real crocodile magic shit, nigga. I smoke more gooder than any nigga in your crew. My weed too loud. My bitch too bad. My money too long. I'm rap game Hitler.
Finally, we have some strength in the White House. I really like what he said.
Smoking the ports.
Did you see the
Reppin' Big T?
Did you see the NFL breakdown of the Hiroshima bombing?
No. Oh, God.
Dude, you're gonna fucking love this. Here we go. I guess we'll end up the stream with this because this is glorious.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Fox's coverage of an American bombing run on Hiroshima. I'm Joe Buck, and with me, as always, is Troy Aikman. It's a crisp August morning in southern Japan, and what goes better in the morning than Dunkin' Donuts? America runs on Dunkin'. Japan's air defenses have been laughable in the last few months, Troy. Do you see them putting up any kind of a fight?
I just can't, Joe. Japan has been miserable recently, but they just refuse to quit.
It looks like we're starting here, so let's cut to the aerial coverage brought to you by Goodyear. Here comes the Enola Gay. It's about overhead of Hiroshima now. Gay, and he drops the payload. Let's take another look with the Toyota Instant Replay.
Looks like it only dropped one bomb, Joe. Can't expect it to do much damage.
You really can't, Troy. But what you can expect is for America to tune in to a brand new episode of The Simpsons, followed by a new Family Guy, only on Fox. And that was a massive explosion, Troy. Let's hear from Aaron Andrews down in downtown Hiroshima. Aaron, looks like we're having some technical issues with the headset. We'll be right back after these messages from our sponsors.
It's glorious. And with that, we leave you with the bomb, ladies and gentlemen.